And that's the winner.
Welcome to the American Red Devils podcast. I'm John.
I'm Alex.
And we're bringing you the best Manchester United news from this side of the pond.
Woo, sir. How we doing? Manchester United are back. They are back in the Premier League the day after Boxing Day. Good tune-up match as well yesterday in the EFL Cup. Round of 16 against Company and his Burnley, the Builders. They came to Old Trafford, and United did the job. It was a pretty composed performance. They had a couple chances. We could have buried the game early in the first half. Garnacho had a bunch of really good chances. But that being said, Eriksen got a nice goal with build-up from AWB, as well as a nice pass from Bruno Fernandes. And then Rashford has his solo effort in the second half to ice the game. De Bruyne showing why he ain't the guy to be the one to take over for De Gea or even be number two. And then, you know what? The second or third best center back we have on the team might just be Casemiro, because he looked great. And he looked great. He's just a class player all over the pitch. He probably could play any position he wants. How you feeling? How we doing? Excited for Nottingham Forest? Excited for Christmas? Excited for New Year's? We're back, baby.
Look, all that late night drawing up the excuses, don't need them.
I'm saving them.
This early morning, the excuse factory, everybody takes some time off. We have at least till Boxing Day +1 off for Manchester United. What a game. I would say at the end of the day, clever rotation from Ten Hag. Casemiro comes in at center back. AWB comes in, does a job. Good assist to Christian Eriksen. Do we need to get rid of him? Can he play the position as a backup? Maybe. Not going to get $50 million for him. But overall, strong rotation, a strong Burnley side, cup competition. We do the business. Easy as you like. I felt like Rashford looks great. Eriksen looks well-rested. I was rooting against these teams in the World Cup. People giving me flack on the social media saying that's kind of messed up. You're rooting against
that's good.
These players. True. I'm a United fan, and you're starting to see why it's critical. Brazil went out in the quarterfinals. England went out in the quarterfinals. It's important that we have these players back. Denmark went out in the group stage. That's arguably the most important one. You're going to have players getting a rest, getting rotated in, training over the holidays. This is a good win. Check the box. Solid momentum for Manchester United. Exactly what you want to see, because we have a mountain to climb. 2 weeks, 2 games a week for the rest of the season. Everything to play for here. It's either going to be top 4 in glory or Bomb FC.
Europa League.
7th and 8th in Conference League. So everything to play for here. Couldn't be more excited to have football back in England. Manchester United, baby. Let's go.
It's incredible. Usually when you end a World Cup, you're back to the summer transfer window, preseason, headed into the season. It's July by then, August kickoffs right around the corner. And now here we are staring down 3 days away from Christmas, like a week and change away from the January transfer window. And I think this performance, like you said, it is going to be an absolute marathon sprint combo, like a super marathon, one of those 100-milers that they do through the fucking desert. For the rest of the season, just because of the amount of games, the cup games. We're in another cup competition, obviously in the EFL Cup. We're moving on to the quarterfinals. And this was one of those games where you could have shot yourself in the foot before you even got going, right? Burnley, trap game. They've been playing, as you mentioned last time we spoke, they are the top of the championship. They've been playing games the last 2 weeks in the championship. And they could have come, stifled United, made it difficult. They had a couple chances. I feel like those were like self-created errors a lot of the time, but ultimately it was a good performance. I think he really kind of flushed out the squad a little bit. Want to see more of the reliance on the second-string players that, I'm sure he hasn't rated AWB. That's been obvious based on this is his first start under the new manager. But like we've been kind of saying is like he needs to rotate eventually. Today or yesterday, he was forced to rotate. And I think at the end of the day, there are players that can contribute, maybe not to the highest level of the first team, but EWB, he's not garbage. I know he's not like, he didn't live to 50 million, but he did a job yesterday. He could do a job for this team, even if he ultimately has to be shipped out. So if we can't bring him right back in January, use AWB. Delo's the go-to. He's injured at the moment from the World Cup, but like lean on the rest of your squad, because that's the only way we're going to finish in the top 4.
No, I agree. I don't think we need to keep AWB. I think we just need to sign the next guy. He is one-dimensional. Like City went at him on purpose because he can't play it out. And just got dusted a few times. We've been exposed at the right back position. Delo can do it all, but how long, like every match, then a World Cup he's playing and he gets injured. That you need two at every position that can do the job the manager wants. So we're going to have to figure out the right back position. But look, quick PSA for the podcast. You like the America Red Devils. We are for fans, by fans. We don't have any private sponsors on the podcast. You want to support us, check out our Patreon page. It is 2022, almost 2023. Can't believe it, sir. We're living in the future. We don't need any print ads. We need to read to you on the podcast. These consumer products you don't need. Just support us on Patreon. It's that simple. Have a ton of benefits. We give away pin stickers, scarves, shirts, you name it. Check out our Patreon page, patreon.com/America Red Devils. Keep the lights on. Also, check out our website, americadevils.com, and our store, americadevils.store. Everything you buy helps the pod. We got hoodies, beanies, scarves, keep you warm this winter. Sorry, tell them about iTunes reviews.
iTunes reviews or 5-star reviews of the America Red Devils podcast, wherever you listen. It's a great way to support the pod. It helps us get found organically by other Muppets like yourself, and even better, we're giving away free merch. All you have to do, write that 5-star review, send a screenshot to americadevils@gmail.com with your mailing address, and I'll personally pick, pack, and ship some free ARD gear, send it right to your door anywhere in the world. Great way to support the pod. So we're giving extra special stuff away over the holidays, and we got to run out, sir. We're getting to business. Burnley the Builders. You want to hop into it? How we feeling?
Write those reviews because Alex has a garage full of stuff he wants to send away.
Move that stuff. The wife hasn't mentioned it in a couple of months, but we got a lot of great gear. We're giving some away, especially if you write a great 5-star review for the pod. Helps us a lot, sir. We're over 500 now. Next goal is 1,000. Let's go.
All right, let's get into the match. Manchester United 2, Burnley 0, Old Trafford EFL Cup round of 16, or the Carabao Cup, as I like to say. Let's get into that lineup.
Sir, ever had a Carabao?
We go to the UK and we see it everywhere.
You do see it. Yeah, I've never
I'll
tried
definitely
it.
take the Carabao challenge next time I'm out.
There you go.
Can't come up with his world ranking. Dubravka down at the bottom of the list. I'm going to say world number 1 bum in net, Dubravka. Where'd this guy come from?
He ain't no good,
Newcastle. That's called the Newcastle foist. You gotta watch out.
We got foisted. Like the pre-Saudi foist. That's like the old Newcastle.
Yeah, Newcastle don't want him. Newsflash. Malacia at left back, McTominay, Lindelof. Actually, it was Casemiro, Lindelof center back pairing. I think everyone thought McTominay was going to slot in there. Wan-Bissaka at right back. The end, McTominay, Eriksson, Bruno midfield, Garnacho on the left, Martial up top, another top bum there, and Rashford on the right-hand side, sir. Bum FC playing against Burnley. How we doing?
So take it easy. This is a Manchester United pod. At the end of the day, strong midfield. You know, the concern here is like the center backs. Ultimately, I was, you know, when the lineup came up, everyone thought McTominay was starting at center back. He has done that job for Scotland previously. You know, I thought that would have made more sense because Casemiro is such a strong midfielder. That wasn't
That's
the
composure
case.
on the ball.
That wasn't the case when they came out, and ultimately, I think that was the right decision because, like you said, composure on the ball. They were pressing high for a championship side, and Casemiro is like, dude, he's a world class CDM. He's like a top center back. I mean, he looks so good at center back. It kind of just blew Lindelof off the ball. So that was the only concern. Up 3, you know, you want to see Martial have a chance. Garnacho back in the fold. Rashford hot off the World Cup. I was excited to see AWB finally get some minutes. I know he's on the way out, but like give the man some minutes. But ultimately, this 11 did all right considering that it was a decent opposition.
You got to look at the bench as well. De Gea, Bennett, Williams, Shaw, Fred, Van de Beek, Anthony, Elanga, Palestri. So Palestri's on the bench. Williams is on the bench. I think that's like the first time we're seeing that after Spain. Maybe there's a sign he might be the guy. Malacia goes to right. Williams goes left. There's going to be some solution because I don't know if we're buying anyone.
Yeah.
And if Wan-Bissaka goes, it's going to be a hole that we're going to need to plug at the rest of the season. So it's interesting to see the subs. Maguire out injured, so we didn't get to see Maguire-Lindelof center back pairing there. I think that's actually a blessing because he went with Casemiro because it did look good.
It did look good.
And showing you different options, and thank God the Brazilian got some rest. Let's get into that first half. 8th minute, great chance for Garnacho after Burnley give it away. Can't quite connect. Save by the goalie.
You know, maybe this chance came too early because Garnacho, obviously in the game before everything shut down for the World Cup, he had that great last-minute winner against Fulham. He has so much pace, and he has, he's shown really good touch on the ball and good finishing. So this was just one of those where, you give him 10 of these, he'll score 6, and this was one of the 4. It just didn't come off.
12 minutes, Scott A with a tap in at the far post after a corner. Can't get there. Chances coming for United early against Burnley. 16th minute, Garnacho on the break. Loses the ball. He looks a little off. Makes sense for a youngster. I think everyone's kind of getting the rust off at this level. Championship level still. But again, the players, a little bit of rust.
No doubt. But, obviously this is not a Premier League opponent, but people were concerned after we got dusted by a couple teams in Spain near the bottom of their league. So this is still a good tune-up match, given the physicality of a Burnley, and they are playing good football under their new manager.
27th minute.
Let's fist for Wan-Bissaka, and Eriksen with a simple finish that was made by the athleticism of Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who fizzed in the opportunity, a gift gratefully accepted by Christian Eriksen. One of the better assists you'll see. Great diagonal, and that's a fine stretch and turn inside.
What a ball by Bruno Fernandes, coming off a hot World Cup. Difference maker here, and an outstretched assist from Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I don't know if any other player could have gotten to that one. I don't know if that's the low assist there, but well done all around. A great team goal for Manchester United, and Christian Eriksen getting on the mark.
You love to see it. Well said, sir. It's a great team goal. United had been pushing up to this point, had some good chances. This was arguably one of the harder chances to make the most of it, but everyone involved in play had a huge contribution to it. Bruno with the big ball over the top. AWB keeping it in and just putting something across goal, and then shout out to Eriksen, does very well to keep the ball down in the first place. So great team goal, great goal all around, and Manchester United, that's what you need. You need a goal to open up the game.
No, and what a team goal for Manchester United, because we haven't seen goals like that all year, because to be able to have Bruno over the top in a low block situation, to be able to break him down that easily with that assist from Aaron Wan-Bissaka, it can't be stated, to come from the World Cup, everyone not training together, and then score a goal like that. It's going to set the tone. 36th minute, good save from Dubravka. Burnley waking up. United snoozing a little bit. Dubravka, not the best game, not the best showing here. 37th minute, nightmare for Dubravka. Count Chocula pushes it back into his goal from a corner, but Casemiro with a goal line clearance. I mean, the ball was like hot potato at his feet.
It looked a little like junior varsity goalkeeper. It was a little nervous. He was in his head or something. He had made a good save right before, but with the ball at his feet, he gave one away that was pretty bad. That could have been even worse. And then obviously he had that, slide behind, pushes it back from a corner. He missed the ball in the first place, and then pushes it back with a second attempt. So it looks like we will not be converting that loan with option to buy for good old Dubravka. We're sending him back to the Toon Army in Newcastle.
40th minute, Tony Martial with a nice shot. Nice shot from Tony Martial. Forces the keeper into a decent save, sir.
And that was the half. He didn't look great in this game compared to, I think, his compatriots. It wasn't Garnacho's base game either. Rashford certainly looked good, but Martial, hold up was okay, but he gave the ball away a couple times. This was actually a decent little take because he didn't have a lot of space. But like we've said lots of times, as your number 9, you're going to need options, and Martial is just, he's not going to be the only number 9 that's going to get us over the line for this season. We need reinforcements more so here than we do on right back. I'd roll with AWB for 6 months and get a cheapish young striker, because that's what we're dying for. We have wingers coming out of our ears. Right back, we could piece together a second choice, but we need more strikers up front. End of the day, we just need another number 9.
I'll tell you what, it says a lot when Didier Deschamps would rather play Giroud at striker than Martial. Didn't play in the World Cup. Should be fit. Should be on all cylinders. Not the best showing for Martial here, like you said. Why is he our go-to striker? we did get. I methe we're looking at United. We did get rid of ego the size of a planet. Going to Saudi Arabia, Ronaldo. Not going to say he ain't the future either, but you get rid of him and you got Martial, who's made of glass and isn't really making that impact. And who would have thought he would have made a big impact, given he went to Sevilla, did nothing, right? So why are we in this situation? It's the Glazers, it's director of football, it's the CEO Richard Arnold having a pint with the fans.
Having a fight, having a laugh, sir. That's not going to change until they sell the club, which is an ongoing process. I don't know how the January is going to be. I would imagine we're not going to spend money at all because they're not going to want to mess with the balance sheet and put any more kind of liabilities on the club that would depreciate how much cash they take out the door at the end of the day. But that being said, if they could, continue to strengthen the team, that'll give them a better chance to finish the top four, which is good for everybody. But it'll be interesting to see. January is going to be one to watch.
Halftime, United come out. 51st minute, McTominay blasts a great chance over the bar. Not anything against McTominay there, but it was a great chance created by Rashford and Bruno. And then 57th minute, I think really Marcus Rashford showing it wasn't just a hot World Cup performance here.
Keeps going. Wonderful goal. Back from the World Cup with a right-footed bang. Slams it home and maybe slams Manchester United. What about this? For a touch of real class from Marcus Rashford. He ran and then he found plenty.
What a goal from Marcus Rashford, coming off the right as well. That's something you usually don't see. Burnley defending leaves a lot to do, but that finish from that angle was incredible. He's feeling it right now. That's all we need to know. Who's going to score the goal second half of the season? It's going to be that man right there. Garnacho on the left, maybe Rashford as striker. We shall see what Ten Hag comes up with because we got Anthony who can play there. You can put Garnacho on the right. You can put Rashford up top. That's going to be the thing for United. It seems like we sorted out the defense. It's really going to be figuring out who's going to score the goals going forward. That's going to be the issue.
It's a good point. We just talked about the number 9. We lost Ronaldo, of course. His form in the previous season, he could certainly contribute goals. But Marcus Rashford, it's like a crime that he didn't get more minutes for that English team. It's probably going to be our benefit. He looks in top form. Great goal from him. We've talked about, sometimes he does a little bit too much hero ball. He actually had one of those earlier in this game where he should have passed it when he was drawing all these defenders his way. And just took it on his own. This is one of those cases where hero ball worked out. Great finish from him. Gets a little bit of luck in the deflection when he goes through the defenders in the edge of the box, but Marcus in top form, and he does the fucking Mbappe celebration. I love that part. He's just like, yeah, buddy. Like,
it's about being fit.
Give me that money.
He's fit, and he's ready to go.
Super
and
fit.
Burnley, ain't nothing for him. Sub 58th minute, Anthony coming on for Garnacho, trying to earn that 80 million price tag. We're going to have to wait for that one. 68th minute, United cut out, almost conceded. Dubravka sleeping, taking a nap. Another hot potato moment for Dubravka. 70th minute, Barnes just goes just wide. United let Burnley in with some chances. I feel like you go up by 2. We definitely let them back into the game. 72nd minute, double sub. Elanga for Shaw and AWB. And Martial. Shaw came in, looked good. Elanga went a little missing. Nothing from him really. 82nd minute, Barnes with another great chance after Casemiro's first mistake of the game. 85th minute, double sub Fred and Brandon Williams. B-Dubs back in the mix. I don't know if we're advertising to sell him or we're actually trying to get him some action. Either way, I do like B-Dubs. He has been able to do a job in the Premier League, so I would like to see him feature more. He comes in for Malacia and Rashford Fred, and B. Williams for Malacia and Rashford Fred. Didn't really do anything. Look, you got to call out. Sorry, you got to be harsh. You got to be honest. This isn't the full Muppet.
Rip it to
This
him,
is full Muppet,
just
but you
give
got to
it
be
to-
like
just
saying
send
like
it.
this is the movie trailer for the rest of the season. Fred ain't gonna do much.
No.
Martial ain't gonna do much.
Probably not.
Casemiro is a Swiss Army knife, can do everything. Eriksen's the real deal. Bruno's a difference maker. Rashford's where we're going to get our goals from. Garnacho's young and unpolished. Like, these are the storylines, like, of what we're probably going to see for the rest of the season. I'd like to be surprised. Dubravka ain't the guy. Like,
he ain't the guy, but there's positives in that, right? Like,
yeah, exactly.
It's a mixed
That's what I'm
bag,
saying.
right?
It's a
Like,
mixed bag, you know?
We got some really good players that are, like, have long-term longevity with this team, makes sense to invest in, and there are players that just don't make sense, aren't going to make it, but are going to have to be a stopgap between now and the end of the season, now and the next owner, because at the end of the day, I like to think everything's going to change with our next owner. We'll see. You never know until it all comes together. But a lot to look forward for this Manchester United side. A lot of games.
What do we know? Let's check in with the man, the myth, the manager here.
Especially the way we outplayed that, and the movements, the arrival from Aaron on that far side, and then the pass from Bruno at the right moment, the timing, and then the arrival from Christian Eriksen and also others there in the box, I think was a great goal.
And it's important for Aaron. If Diogo is injured, it might be important over the next few weeks. So it's good to see him in decent form.
All plays are important, but sure, Aaron, we missed him whole first 14 games of the Premier League. So we need numbers in the box, but after the box we need numbers in the squad. But not only numbers, they have to play well and they have to perform. And he had a good, preparation on the second season half. So he's ready to play, and he did quite well today.
You look very fit and very fresh. I mean, have you had a little break, or have you basically not stopped?
No, I've had a little break. I think you need it more for the emotional side of things, because it's such a low being kicked out of any tournament, and you have to pick yourself up, because there's no time to feel sorry for yourself and come back with your head down, because if we lose the game today, we miss out on an opportunity to win a trophy. So it's massively important that you come back in and you just try and be as positive as you can be, and if you're not quite doing that, then the lads that maybe haven't been away, they have to lift you up, and that's what it's been like since I've been in the last couple of days. So.
All right, a little from Marcus Rashford. We're going to spare you the Dubravka post-game interview here.
MUTV, bro. That tells you everything you need to know.
Look, Ten Hag, Erwan Bissaka played well. No, he didn't play that well. Calm down. We're going to can him.
Tell you what,
that translation, he's gone.
Bro. He doesn't give a. He's tough. We talk about this all the time, sir. We talk about him being stubborn. I don't want to call it a Dutch tendency, but he's hard-headed for sure, and he's a hard man to please. Fergie was a hard man to please. He's like, he ain't giving Mitch. AWB played really the best game he's played for United in years, and he didn't give him nothing. He's like, yeah, he played all right.
Even you heard my evaluation of the squad. I gave him
He played good. He played well.
I'm hard on this team, and I was like, he played well. Delo ain't getting that assist in there. That's just an AWB scissor kick.
Yep.
We've seen it so many times defending, and glad to see it come up good on the attack. But Erik ten Hag, tough man to please. Let's get into the stat sheet. Shots, 10 for United, 11 for Burnley, the Builders. 6 on target, though. That's the difference maker. They only had 1 possession, 55% to 45%. We took it to them. Feel confident about this performance. I'm surprised. I actually think United at this stage should. I expected us to be kind of chugga, a little behind the 8 ball. But we seem to be doing good. There's enough players well rested from the World Cup. That's going to be the difference maker when you look at who went deep in the tournament or who was affected by the tournament. Clearly Rashford's coming out of the tournament on a bump. Harry Kane might be coming out of the tournament on a low. These are the different type of players and different types of momentum swings you're going to see, and I hope it impacts the table. Speaking of the table,
open it up,
we're
sir.
going to open it up
time.
here.
It's
it's before Christmas, but Arsenal in first. That's a real fake first.
They've won games, but it's not going to last. It's
we beat them, first of all.
We did beat them.
They got a player in Martinelli. That's legit. I don't want it to be legit because I see him. I'm like, that guy's plastic, but he's the real deal. I'll tell you, he looked like the 80 million pound man playing for Brazil in the World Cup, and it wasn't Antony. 37 points for the Arsenal, 32 for Man City, 30 for Newcastle, 29 for Tottenham, 26 for Manchester United in 5th place, but we do have a game in hand against Tottenham and Newcastle. Arsenal and City are on 14, like we are. The problem was the Queen missing that extra game. Going to have to make it up. We do play the day after Boxing Day, so a lot of this is going to be sorted. I'm more interested to see where is everyone going to come, how is everyone going to hit the ground running. Lots of questions going to be had. This Winter World Cup is really a wrench in the league. I've never seen anything like it.
No, it's never been done before, so it's going to affect all the teams differently, and managers are going to have to, cope with one half of the season form, second half of season form. I don't think every team that, built up into the World Cup happening is going to continue that type of momentum. Can Newcastle keep it going? Obviously, can Arsenal keep it going? What happens to the Scousers? What happens to Chelsea? Because they went in with horrible form. So you have to imagine people are going to figure some stuff out. Certain teams are going to lose momentum. And, it's, all we give a shit about is Manchester United at the end of the day. Finishing the top 4, give us something to kind of cheer for the end of the season. There's a lot to play for because top 4 is a big deal, given how we did last year. And League Cup, quarterfinals, let's go. 3 games to silverware. I know it's the League Cup, EFL Cup, Carabao Cup, but we take it at this point.
Thirsty for trophies, hungry for signings. Also, January transfer window coming up. Gonna get nobody. Let's get into that next match. Manchester United versus Nottingham Forest. It's at Old Trafford. Boxing Day +1, December 27th, noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern.
Lovely.
Games 1 versus Nottingham Forest, 48-1. Drawn 24, lost 33. Decently even with Nottingham Forest. We've been doing it since 1892. We drew them 1-1 in the league division. First time we ever played them. We've won our last 5 against them. The last time we played them, February 6th, 1999.
Good year for us.
8-1, baby.
Let's go.
Let's bring it back. Coming into this game, Nottingham Forest booted Tottenham and low-energy Harry Kane out of the EFL Cup. Beat Crystal Palace. Lost to Stoke City. Not even going to say that team's name they lost to on December 6th. Olympiacos beat them. They did beat Valencia. They tuned up a team in Spain. We lost to teams in Spain. You know what? That means we're going to beat them. Nottingham Forest history, founded in 1865, have been playing their home games at the City Ground on the banks of the River Trent since 1898. They are one of the old school clubs in England. Forest, their nickname, are one of 4 English clubs to have won the European Cup more than once, and one of 2 English clubs to have won the competition back-to-back. That is the trivia stat. Name the teams who have won the European Cup back-to-back. By the way, Forest is one of them. Forest have 2 stars above their crest to commemorate their 2 European Cup victories. And Nottingham Forest have won, in total, 2 European Cups, 1 UEFA Super Cup, 1 league title, 2 FA Cups, 4 League Cups, and 1 FA Charity Shield. Put some respect on their name. The club has competed in the 2 top tiers of English football since its admission to the Football League, with the exception of 5 seasons in the 3rd tier. Its most successful period was under the management of Brian Clough and Peter Taylor in the late 70s, early 80s, which included back-to-back wins in the European Cup in 1979. So when we were struggling, Forest was on a run, and who knew that they would end up signing Jesse Lingard?
Who knew, sir? Who
on
knew?
big money.
Who knew?
Big money. He took big money from Forest. I don't think he's been doing much for them or playing. So
I think he actually played yesterday. I think they had their own EFL game, and they beat Blackburn Rovers 4-1. And your boy, Jesse Lingard, did get a goal. So they got, they're a decent team. They're on the edge of the relegation zone. They're in 18th place at the moment, right below old Fat Frank and Everton. So they're a team fighting for their life. They made like a tremendous amount of signings. I don't know how good these signings were, but they signed like 20 players in the summer transfer window. Dude, they're going to come in. They're going to be a typical Premier League side, right? Compact, dangerous on the break. We need to play well. Our midfield needs to play better than we played yesterday, and our goalie certainly needs to play better. De Gea will be back in net. They got a lot of has been, could have been, never was really players like Gibbs White, obviously Lingard, Aurier, who I believe played for Spurs back in the day, sir. So, No, they're a tough side.
They
but
got
side
Hendo.
that We're playing. They got Hendo. Forgot about Hendo. So he'll either play. Really, actually,
His stock
he
went
can't
up.
play right because he's on loan, I guess. So he'll be out. But either way, dude, this is a good tune-up match to get the Premier League season back up and running. We need a victory. We need all 3 points. I hope to think Old Trafford will be buzzing right after Christmas. 12 Cantona is going to be going strong.
Their big rival is Derby County, formerly coached by Big Head Wayne Rooney. Big Booze Head Wayne Rooney, with whom they contest the East Midlands Derby. What a name, East Midlands. Let's go. They play the 4-3-3. Hendo and net. His stock went up after Dubravka had a mare of a game there.
Oh my god!
But he did come out and like slate his club that he's still under contract with. So Dean Henderson, that says everything you need to know about United. A player who is on loan, talking smack about his former club, and then the CEO not doing nothing about it.
I'd love to see it.
That tells you a lot
That's
about
great-
Manchester
great for
United.
everybody.
The injuries for United: Delo, thigh injury, and Tuanzebe is persona non grata at United. I would add Martinez is in Argentina celebrating the World Cup. Varane is mourning the World Cup. And Harry Magoo is injured as well.
He was sick for the game. That's why he dropped out. And he played Casemiro as center back because came down with some illness.
Given those
Bad
injuries,
ham.
what is your lineup?
I got De Gea in net. I think the low makes a comeback. If it's a serious injury, then it's going to be AWB after his decent performance against Burnley. Magoo, he gets that bad ham out of his system, sir. Lindelof, Shaw. I'm going to do that fire midfield we have. Unbelievable. And Casemiro, Eriksen, and Bruno. Rashford on the left, Martial up front, and Anthony on the right. You could also maybe drop Martial after his performance, put Rashford up front, and Garnacho on the left, but he didn't play as well as he played headed into the break. So he's got options there up front, but we'll see. It'll be interesting. Who you got, sir, in your starting 11?
Yeah, I would say Dave Saves comes back in. AWB, Maguire, Lindelof. I'm going to go Shaw, Casemiro, Eriksen, Bruno. I'm going to do Garnacho, Rashford, Anthony. Rashford's red hot. Play him up top. See if you can keep that goal scoring momentum for Marcus Rashford. Bookie the bookies. What we got?
You got United as the heavy favorites, -330. You have the draw at +450, and then Nottingham Forest underdogs at +900. Sir, given those are the odds, what is your score prediction?
Ooh, 2-1 to Manchester United, I have to say. At home, Boxing Day, unbelievable atmosphere. Let's go.
Yeah, I wanted a clean sheet, but knowing that Magoo will be back in, it's not going to be Casemiro again. I'm going to do 3-1. United get some goals. I think Marcus gets a couple, Bruno gets one, and we march on from there.
All right, into the news. United in the news. Manchester United submit offer for Antoine Griezmann. You must be dreaming. Where'd you get this article?
It's on. Come on, bro. This is the news.
Dreaming for Griezmann.
January transfer window. What do you say? Antoine Griezmann, he had a hell of a World Cup. I included his FB ref.
Yeah, but where'd he play? He played number 10. We don't need a number 10. We need
he
a
can
number
play striker. He can play
9. I
striker,
know he
bro.
can play striker, but where is he? He's a little older,
He's definitely older. He's
little
on top dollar. He's on top
slower.
dollar, bro. He's on top dollar.
a little slower. Like, he's gonna. I mean, like, it makes no sense to like sign a player who's just like killing it for France, playing deeper. It's like when Rooney went into the hole and looked really good for United. We don't need that position, so then you got to buy him, put him at 9.
So you don't like this transfer, is what I get at. You think Antoine Griezmann doesn't have a role to play at this side. Probably, I mean, you're
Sir,
right.
have you seen this movie before?
I agree.
Aging,
I agree.
overpaid.
Okay. So I'm gonna juxtapose this with something else in 1 second. I agree with you. He's like, we have to pay him like absurd amounts of money. Probably the highest player on the team, highest player in the league, and we have seen this movie before. How about another story that I didn't include it because in some ways it's more ridiculous? Is that Atletico are looking to get rid of João Felix with a loan to buy type scenario. Sir, what are your thoughts on João Felix? Other end of the spectrum, much younger. Obviously going to need top dollar. Obviously,
Yes.
the transfer fee when they actually do loan to buy would be fucking huge. But what's your thoughts on João?
See. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
You like.
absolutely.
You like.
Yes.
You like.
Bye, sir.
You like
That-
João Felix. Okay.
Yeah, young, fast, play number 9.
Young.
Portuguese connect. Got a few of them in the squad. Let's keep it going. I thought we should have been in for him when he went to Atleti. This is much better than the Griezmann situation as far as I'm concerned. Next one, Cody Gapco, £43 million. Don't buy players after a hot international tournament. We had the chance to sign him on the cheap in the summer. We didn't. He looked decent for the Dutch, but again, I don't think tournament football is a good indication of this. If he can come in and play number 9 for Manchester United, for me, it's the pace. I just don't know if he has the pace. Or we did see him live. We saw him score the goal for the Netherlands against Qatar at the World Cup. $43 million ain't the worst price. I'm thinking he's probably 30. So in that type of valuation, I think it's probably right. I just don't know what type of the loan situation seems to be where we're going to go versus splashing cash. Since the Glazers aren't taking the dividend, we're bleeding out right now.
I agree with you. I don't have as much hesitancy around the whole hot World Cup because, like I said, he was very hot headed into the World Cup, and hopefully he can kind of continue the momentum. My concern is that he is not an out-and-out number 9 at the end of the day. He's not just like a pure play striker, which is what we need. We have wingers coming out of our ears because Jadon Sancho on the mark. He's on the. Who knows what's happening with Jadon Sancho? Eric Ten Hag had a very terse response about what's the status of Jadon Sancho. Any update? And he just goes no. So at the end of the day, we have Ahmad, who's playing really well for Sunderland at the moment. Facundo, who plays for his international team. He's probably never going to get a sniff at it. You just bought Anthony. You have Alonga on the edge. So buying another winger, I don't know, doesn't make a ton of sense to me. He scored 13 goals and 16 assists in all competitions for PSV Eindhoven this season.
No, I mean that's my point. Is he's a winger? He's not out number 9. We don't need another winger who can't play number 9. We have so many of those. João Felix can do it at number 9. He also can do it on the wing. I also feel he's got an extra gear as far as pace is concerned. Still unpolished, but we're going to see where United goes. Manchester United co-owner here. This is from Ornstein from The Athletic. Manchester United co-owner Glazer held talks with potential investors, including Saudi Arabia, Qatar. He did do the Doha trip, went to the World Cup. Nature of talks unclear, but comes amid Rain Group aiming for full MUFC sale Q1 of 2023 at $6 to $7 billion. The more the investment bank says when and how much they want to sell it for, they don't have a buyer. I'm just going to let you know.
That's great.
But it's true. I mean,
that's great.
Because
they're
somebody was
trying
actually
they're trying to dust up interest.
they're
when
trying
I saw
to shake
there,
the trees
I
because ain't
figured
nobody
he's
want to
got
buy
nothing,
it,
bro. Because their price is too high. There's probably a $2 to $3 billion disconnect. It's probably worth $4 billion. It's probably worth $4 billion max. And
you want to sell an asset? You want to sell an asset, right?
Talk me through it, sir. Talk me through it.
You want to sell Popeyes? You
Love
might
Popeyes.
need to
Love me some Popeyes.
go out and visit some people, right? Get a deal done,
Popeyes buyers.
jump up some interest. Hey, you own a store, or you want to buy my store? You own a crown jewel, like Manchester United. Yet people come to you. You're going to people. It's telling you that nobody wants to buy it at that price. Now, Ratcliffe ain't going to buy it for $6 to $7 billion. Our T-shirt or our shirt sponsor just said, "See ya." Stadium's falling apart, and the Glazers don't want to play ball. It's just it's not an easy sale right now, and you're looking at when they could have sold earlier. You're just seeing they clearly are a bunch of rich kids that don't know what they're doing because they should have sold Manchester United 18 months ago
during the COVID pop when the whole market was ripping, interest rates were a lot lower, and they got greedy, bro. They did. They tried to bleed this fucker out to
they're
the last.
Stubborn. They're greedy. It's
dumb.
It's almost
they are dumb, dude.
And then now they're just trying to sell it this insane premium, and they're flying out to the Middle East to go get it.
That is bad. You're not getting flying out because you're closing the deal. He was literally shopping. He was shopping his company. Bro.
You want people to pitch you why you should sell to them. So we'll keep you posted here, but anytime an investment bank says when and how much, that's not a good sign for the sale of Manchester United. The next one is rumors Ronaldo signing a 7-year deal.
7 years?
In Saudi Arabia, and he'll be the sponsor of the 2030 bid for the World Cup.
Now, that's going to be interesting. He'll do it because they'll give him put a statue out in front of the stadium or name the stadium after him. But I also believe that Argentina
and Uruguay.
Okay, the competing bids at the moment, the two lead bids are a combined bid of Portugal and Spain with like a token Ukraine inclusion, which I don't know how that's going to play out depending on what happens with the war there. And then also Uruguay, Argentina combined bid. Now at the same time, the Saudis are going in with a combined bid with somebody else, but under current FIFA rules, the World Cup cannot be played in 2030 at either a CONCACAF location because U.S., Mexico, Canada are doing 26, or an Asian location.
So what are
of the Qatar
rules
World
when
Cup.
you have money?
No, that's what I'm saying. So that's the current rules, but they'll change the fucking rules to give it to the Saudis, I imagine. But what I was getting at is that Lionel Messi is also the sponsor. He's also one of the leads. Like, he was the face for Saudis at the moment, right? We were in UAE. We saw him all over Visit Arabia commercials, even though that was probably not him, his face. And he's being used the same way that Beckham was used to kind of like sports wash the Qatar bid and talk about how much he loves Qatar. But at the same time, he's going to be competing against Argentina, who's going for the World Cup. So that's like a very interesting dichotomy. And, you know, in the Saudis.
Also, it's the 100th anniversary of the original World Cup, which was played in Uruguay. So it should be
cool.
going
That would be
back.
awesome. Yeah, it would be cool.
But again, if anyone knows anything about like where the money at, it's going to be like, come on, let's not kid ourselves. Saudi Arabia wants to pay $500 billion. They're going to get the World Cup. There's nothing about FIFA or just World Football, UEFA, anything that
They're
isn't
worse than
corrupt.
you think.
It's horrible.
It's shamelessness beyond belief. And I think this World Cup made it just so obvious.
But if you go to the
Infantino,
Olympics,
is
the Olympics is the same
but
thing.
no one cares about the Olympics, bro. They're not relevant.
No, I'm just
That
saying
is,
that like
ended as a global event that
international
anyone
like
cares
sporting
about.
competition is just corrupt,
Yeah.
right? And that's just how it is. It's how it's always going to be ultimately, and it's really unfortunate. This Infantino guy, like, how do you
He
go
is
from
shameless.
Sepp Blatter to this dude?
He's shameless.
Like, because the first thing they should have done, like FIFA, as soon as he came in, you got to take the World Cup away from Qatar because of the
100%.
bribery.
100%.
They got it because of bribery. It's proven.
Saudis will
It's
get
like
it because
dead
of
to
bribery.
rights, like bribery. You have to take it away and set the tone. They don't take it away. Not only do they not take it away, they argue why this is the best World Cup ever. It's just like so. Then like Russia, then like the Zelensky wanted to make like had a video for the World Cup final.
They stonewalled them.
Stonewalled that because they want to just and it also comes down to the fact like the dynamics of like dictators, kingdoms, like these are the people that get into bed with FIFA because it makes the most sense, because those are the nations that need the shine and that want to pay bribes to these guys, and these guys are, they got greasy fingers. North Jersey Sea Caucus, greasy fingers here, FIFA. That's just how they're made, and it's unfortunate to see, because don't even try to get your hopes up for that Argentina, that amazing World Cup
that
that we
would
all
be
deserve. It's going to be
incredible.
Saudi Arabia,
I mean,
100%. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It'll probably just have every World Cup in the Middle East.
Someone said that. So that
Yeah,
was like,
why
that was
not?
like,
Honestly, that's the way it's going.
The guy-
Everyone there, and then you know what? I think these FAs should start breaking away. I think it should just become like, I think England was going to protest, France should protest, we should the FA should just start going rogue, because this is just getting out of hand. It goes to Saudi Arabia in 2030. It's like,
which you know what will happen.
it's
That's
only going to
like-
get hotter.
It's like you got.
It was
yeah,
so hot.
It was so hot.
It was
so another Winter World Cup. That would mean another Winter World Cup.
They don't even like soccer.
I know, bro, but they like everybody coming to their country and talking about
They want
Qatar
attention.
for the first
I
time ever.
understand, yeah.
And here's the thing: I've never been more confident that the Saudis will get it than when I went there, saw how much how big of a deal it was to Qatar, because, like I said, nobody was talking about Qatar before they won the bid, before they hosted the World Cup, and we'll ever talk about them again. And Saudis want that shine. Of course they do, because they want it. They want people coming to Saudi Arabia to see the greatest sporting event that exists, which is the World Cup. But at the same time, you have arguably like two of the finest bids. Like, who wouldn't want to go have like some nice asadas in Uruguay and Argentina, or have a fucking siesta and a little capa whatever in
They don't
Spain
pay.
and
It
Portugal?
comes
Like, that would
down
be
to-
so awesome. Those would be
Show
such
me
fun
the
World
money,
Cups. And they're going to
Lebowski.
make you go back to the Middle East 8 years after like the sham that was Qatar. Let's be honest, it was a sham of a World Cup.
Show me the money, Lebowski. They want to see
They have
where's
more
the
money.
money.
Saudi's got way more money than any other countries I mentioned who are on this type of thing where they want to just like splash for the sake of building their
You
global
think
brands.
FIFA's gonna vote like? No. FIFA doesn't want. It's just gonna be like. I think it's gonna come down to a few things. There's like some litigation with the Budweiser deal. Yeah. Right, like there's a lot of things that happen at the World Cup that like are going to need to be sorted. Like Budweiser paid a lot of money, and they didn't get like the beer sales that they were promised by FIFA. And that apparently there's litigation. Like FIFA needs Qatar to pay Budweiser, X dollars because they like kiboshed all this at the last second.
Yep,
which was not planned. Like there's going to be a lot of that. There's just going to be a lot of how does this go for Qatar after the World Cup, which, newsflash, not great. Like, nothing there.
No one's going back.
So there's just going to be a lot of that, and I'm just sick of FIFA. I'm sick. This Infantino guy gives me the heebie-jeebies, and
that's true.
I think FIFA needs, like, a drastic change of leadership again that they're not going to get. This guy's running unopposed. It's time to jump into like the modern day and just say, hey, I think one World Cup in the Middle East for like the next 3 decades is enough, right? It's like,
no, I think that's the funniest thing is like, I'm telling you, I forgot the cartoonist who works for The Guardian, but he had this great, he's been covering the World Cup the whole time. He talks about like in 2030 and beyond, all World Cups will be held in Saudi Arabia, which like they would do, dude. It's like no one's going to spend more money. And I hate to say it, but you made a good point about after Sepp Blatter was pulled out, and watch the FIFA documentary, the 4-part series on Netflix. It's a great watch. It just like the depths of the corruption just like extend to US FA, which makes sense given how poorly they're run. Every FA globally basically is involved in some capacity, and Infantino like should have been like the fresh start, and he feels like even worse because he's just like I'm more shameless than even Blatter was. He's like, we're doing a World Cup every year. We're doing a World Cup every 2 years. We're expanding the teams. It's like more money, and it just. No World Cup illustrated that more than Qatar, whether you watch it on TV or even more so there on the ground. And I don't know, it's sad because there's so much positive about the World Cup about, we were there meeting Iranians, like you just brings people together. Fans are watching the game. Fans are watching the final that aren't even big fans. And there's so much positive things about it. And the corruption just eats away at you, bro. Because it's like, ain't nobody no offense, but nobody wants to go back to Saudi Arabia 8 years after they have a World Cup in Qatar. It's not even how you do it.
No, of course, and it's against the general rules. Look, I try to have open mind, honestly. Like, and I think, like, obviously, like the games, the football, the people, that's amazing about the World Cup. But it's just all the extra stuff, like trying to shove it down your throat and tell you this and that, and FIFA saying this and that, and like denying like reality around like it killed like all these people trying to build these like stadiums, and like they didn't nearly deliver what they promised. Like all this stuff, it just becomes this sports washing. It's the sports washing narrative is so apparent. It didn't exist in Brazil. It was like, World Cup, everyone welcome, let's have a great time, and then everyone left. It wasn't like this is the best ever. Say it. Like it had nothing about that. There was nothing about what the Sepp Blatter was trying to like shove down your throat about Brazil. Like denying reality. It was just literally all it was football, come to our country, have a great time, and you leave. And that's what it should be all about. And the taste in my mouth about this World Cup is all the noise surrounding it, all the discord surrounding it, and FIFA saying, no, you must believe this narrative that we are pushing that is coming from someone who paid us $300 billion. And then that distraction, that debate really kind of sours it for me. It should all be about the football. It should be about welcoming the world. I would say they failed at that, and we felt it when we were there. I would not want to go back to another World Cup in the Middle East unless they want to welcome the world.
Yeah, I think it's well said. I think we could stick a fork in this World Cup, but I have to agree. It's like they keep telling you how great it was, and then if you criticize any capacity, any part of it or any part of how it was executed, they claim racism. Like that's just that's not the best way to win an argument. I think what did it for me was like they had a freaking a worker died during the World Cup. Someone asked like one of the head guys, he's like, how dare you ask us a question? Dying's part of life. The guy's like 35 years old, died suddenly, like 7,000 people that died before him. And that's why they weren't worthy of World Cup. It's like, you know what? America, we ain't perfect, but I like to think that we try to own up to some of our mistakes. It's like they didn't own up to nothing, bro. And you know what? FIFA don't own up to nothing either. They didn't even admit that.
Well, they're a match made in heaven, right? At the end of the day, that's what I'm trying to say is that FIFA and the countries that want to shell out this type of money, they're a match made in heaven. So you're going to keep seeing it. But sir, that's it. That's the podcast. If you like the American Devils, please support us on Patreon. Drop a review, like, subscribe. Everything helps. Small time operation. We're finally back in the bunker, doing it live. You love to see it. So give us our top 10 downloads last 7 days.
Number one, how you doing? Columbus, OH, Ohio, Lehigh Acres, Florida, Rosedale, Maryland, Reykjavik, Iceland, New York. Appreciate you. Cummings, Georgia, Brooklyn, New York, Preston, UK. I fucked that. I bottled that one. Sorry.
Oh, I got a big one here.
Yeah. Chicago, Illinois. Leifsjell, Norway. I didn't nail that one.
That's pretty good.
Leifsjell. Let us know how much we bottled that one. We also got Vancouver on the list. We got London. We got Manchester. We appreciate all the American Red Devils listening week in, week out. We couldn't do it without you. Appreciate every single one of you. Have a very Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. And we will see you after we thump Jesse Lingard and Nottingham Forest, sir. How we feeling? Let's go.
Yeah, have a great holiday season, everyone. Get some rest. Enjoy the time with the family. We're going to be singing 12 cantanas.